Hi everyone, my name is Yvonne Stewart. I'm one of the senior HR directors within Dell Technologies. I actually support the EMEA sales business, which sits across Europe, Middle East, Africa. And I've been in this role for Dell for just past 16 years. It's been a great experience. I've been through a lot of different roles. And landing in the business partner role, supporting the sales organisation, has really been a pinnacle part of my career. I was delighted to be invited to come and speak to you guys. And one of the topics that I was going to share with you was just around new ways of working and some of the approaches that we've put in place in Dell Technologies to support our new ways of working. And actually, we've tried to create a framework just to guide us around how we approach new ways of working, but how we do that against our strategic initiatives. So the 6 areas that we're focusing on are our brand, our people, our places, our organisation, our technology, and well-being. Now, at Dell, everything that we do is underpinned by our culture code and our people philosophy. And so the future of work is incredibly dynamic. So we're always evolving and evaluating what goes in here. What's key is that we're collaborating against all of the work streams that we've got in place, and we're being interconnected between the initiatives. It really is a great way for us to stay on top of all the disparate work that happens across a company that is the size of Dell Technologies with regards to new ways of working. Our initiatives vary in size and scale due to their maturity, and maybe as we reflect back, some are quite well advanced and mature, like our connected workplace offering, and some of them are just kicking off. So Dell has had a flexible working solution in place for over 12 years. It's ran a very successful programme. But like the rest of the world, it became the new ways of working over a pandemic. And while some companies were focused on introducing flexible working, we were more focused on the employee value proposition of employee-led decisions, creating more autonomy, freedom, and flexibility. So that's an example of where, we very much had an offering out there, but maybe at the level of uptake to go to 100% was a very fast rate that we had to change to. So one of our brands, one of our pillars is brand. And what we're referring to there is some of the work that we've got in the space of our employee value proposition. We're trying to make sure that as an organisation, we take our employee input and we're very consultative with our employees. And our retention and attrition strategy is really focused around what it means to work for Dell. And personally, what do you get out of being an employee here? After 18 months plus of remote working, we know that it's really hard to maintain connection to the company. And our culture, and actually without some of those physical touch points that you might have had in the office or meeting with your peers face to face, we do want to understand what the drivers are for our team members. We really hope that it reminds us of the reasons about why we're proud to work for Dell and why we believe in what Dell stands for in terms of enabling human progress. And we're trying to find new ways to feel connected with each other and with our purpose as an organisation. It's not radically different from who we are. It's very authentic, but it's just a strong reminder of our brand and why we choose Dell Technologies. One of our other pillars is people, and people are our hearts and minds. We've invested a lot of time into the L&D space to help us increase leaders and team members' capability to help us navigate through this new environment. Reopening our sites is an example of where our teams might just need some support on how to deal with something that they've never experienced before. What are the conversations reinventing the team? How will we work when some folk are at home and some folk are in the office? How do we use technology better to enable us? How do we stay organisationally focused? How do we stay coordinated, connected? And how do we do it in a way that increases our effectiveness? There's lots of research going in to this topic. And in some ways, to be fair, the shift of having a world where everything is virtual and then moving to the distributed hybrid world is really going to be more challenging than the pandemic crisis when everybody was remote and we were all the same. We think as Dell Technologies, we really need to be able to equip our leaders and team members just to think about, how to make sure that we're inclusive, productive, effective, efficient. How do we stay collaborative and engaged? And what are the new norms of our teams as we re-enter this new environment, which will be a combination of people being at home and in the office? This is our hybrid approach, which, to be fair, is what our employees are asking for. One of the other themes, just in the attempt to be very transparent, was about people making meetings matter. Now, it was a big call out to us because actually, from our employee engagement surveys, we could see that team members that were experiencing high degrees of burnout and maybe reporting lower energy had much lower NPS. And one of the reasons that they were telling us was meeting overload. Now, this is really tactical, but we are focusing on some resources to help people think about when to have meetings, how to make it more effective, and just upskill the organisation. It's actually been really, really welcomed by the organisation and effective. We're building out this research, as I talked about earlier, because we're revamping our virtual offerings and focused on leading virtual teams. So we want to make sure that it's centred around some of the things that we've learned. And if you think about what I was saying previously, we want the training to be conscious of things that we should be talking about as we re-enter a hybrid world. Things that are important, like inclusion, like wellness, like how do you manage performance virtually? How do you deal with equity when people aren't in front of you and you can't see how productive they are? These are just some of the areas that we need to be focused on. If we just pivot to places, which is another one of our pillars, we've had a lot of work in this space. We've been really thoughtful around how new ways of working impacts our site strategy and the future of facilities. Geographical location with respect to the physical footprint is a major journey, and it's not something that's going to change overnight. It's going to take time and it's going to take investment for us to go through physical transformations. We need to make sure that we're informed by the patterns of our team members, and actually we really need to rely on data to be smarter here. When we think about the geographical footprint, we've just completed an exercise with our senior execs on what they think about returning to work and who needs to come to site irrespective of personal choice. And actually, we had really strong alignment on the back of that exercise. We determined that 5% of our roles need to be anchored to a site, but 95% of our roles can be hybrid or remote eligible. Now, that doesn't mean that we will force people to be remote. It means that they've got higher degrees of flexibility and choice. Now, as I say, it was a really good exercise. It wasn't completely harmonious, and not everybody was wanting 100% of their people to be hybrid, but we are moving towards embracing an outcome for work. Our workplace is an outcome, it's not a destination, and that's a cultural shift that we're working towards supporting. If we move on to the organisational pillar that I spoke about, and just think about internal travel for the team. We're doing a significant amount of research to determine the right amount of travel and what that should be. And how do we find the right balance for our team members? A key focus in this pillar was around employee-initiated movement around work from anywhere. There's a struggle to balance flexibility and choice for team members on where they can work versus the legal and regulatory compliance issues around where they can work. So we're working hard on implementing a stronger policy, a technology solution, and a business process in the near future to help us navigate this topic. We need to set some limits and guardrails because we've got to protect the company and allow us to support some of the employee requests where we can, but not put the organisation at risk. Technology is another one of the pillars, and it's the word that's on the tip of everyone's tongue. We're planning to enhance that experience for all of our team members. We need to get the right platform for things like being able to be digitally collaborative and to have digital whiteboard sessions and to make sure that it works well for people that are in the office and we're still engaging people that are working from home. We want to create better environments and we really want to enhance the experience. Again, it's an evolution. We're working through Microsoft Teams at the moment, and we'll have to keep learning what platforms or what things we can switch on to make this a better experience. And well-being is the thing that we've talked a lot about over the last couple of years. It pretty much underpins everything that I've just spoke about. And some of the digital well-being solutions that our team have been developing is truly cutting edge. We're talking about mind, body, financial wellness, and the partnerships in this space have become a real benefit for our team members. In fact, today, I signed up to our Doctor at Hand app, which basically means I can arrange an appointment for my doctor using an app which is provided by one of the company benefits. It really is very impressive. So these are just some of the new ways of working that I thought would be beneficial to share with you. We've really tried to upskill ourselves into on-demand learning, which means that we can access things at our own pace, we can do self-serve, we can turn some of our experiences into virtual experiences. And all of this is to enhance our employee experience. New ways of working is the buzzword that's going about at the moment. It will continue to evolve, it will continue to develop. And at Dell Technologies, we will try to continue to stay ahead of the curve and to keep driving these learnings across our organisation. I hope that's useful. I hope it gives you some insights. I'd love to reach out. I'd love for you to reach out to me if anybody's got any questions. You can reach me on LinkedIn at Yvonne Stewart. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Goodbye.